Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine a body that heals from, well, pretty much any injury in an instant. Bullets, blades, even bombs. This deep dive is all about one of Marvel's most iconic mutants, Wolverine, and his extraordinary healing factor. You shared some incredible sources with us, and we're ready to extract the most fascinating nuggets here. His powers, they seem almost limitless, right? Allowing him to recover from almost any physical injury, disease, or trauma within moments. But here's where it gets really interesting. If he's so, unkillable, how did he die in the movie, Logan? That's kind of the ultimate question we're going to tackle today.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here is how his fictional abilities, they really touch on real biological concepts. We'll explore the nuts and bolts of how his healing supposedly works, from mutant hormones to the super stem cells and the mysterious X gene.
Right, and we'll also have to confront that paradox of adamantium, that unbreakable metal bonded right to his bones, and how his healing factor is just continuously battling its toxicity. It's quite something. We'll also look at the incredible slowing of his aging, pushing him towards, well, biological immortality almost. Then we'll pivot a bit to some real-life creatures that showcase some pretty incredible regenerative abilities, giving us a glimpse of what's actually possible in nature.
Exactly. And finally, we'll dive deep into the Logan movie itself.
Yeah, gotta understand the scientific and frankly kind of poetic reasons behind his demise, connecting it to concepts like cellular fatigue and just the limits of even the most powerful abilities.
And as we unravel these fictional feats, you'll see how dissecting complex information, even from, comic books, can sharpen our ability to extract critical insights from any topic you face.
Okay, so let's get started. So to begin, let's just lay out the sheer scope of Wolverine's accelerated healing factor. It truly is a marvel, allowing him instant repair from almost anything. What does that actually look like in practice?
That's right. I mean, his body can instantly repair injuries from bullets, blades, or, yeah, even bombs. And beyond just closing wounds, his immune system is, like, hyper-efficient, makes him resistant to pretty much all diseases. And sort of as a bonus, his aging is drastically slowed down, while his stamina, strength, and reflexes are all significantly enhanced. It's really a remarkable combination of abilities.
It really does sound like pure magic. And the sources you shared, they certainly describe some amazing fictional science behind it all. Can you maybe break down how this instantaneous repair supposedly happens, like on a biological level? What happens the moment he gets hurt?
Absolutely. So when he's injured, his nervous system immediately detects the damage, sends signals straight to his brain. The brain then triggers this rapid release of mutant healing hormones.
Mutant healing hormones, okay.
Right. And these hormones activate cellular regeneration right there in the affected area. They cause vasodilation, basically, increase blood flow to the wound, which delivers what the sources call super stem cells and repair enzymes.
Oh.
And this whole rush allows for, like, rapid removal of damaged cells and the near-instant growth of new ones.
Super stem cells. That's a fascinating concept. How do those differ from what humans have? What makes them super...
Well, in humans, we have limited hematopoietic and mesenchymal stem cells, right? They're somewhat specialized for specific types of repair. Wolverine, fictionally, possesses pluripotent super stem cells.
Pluripotent, meaning?
Meaning they're unique because they can transform into any cell type: skin, muscle, nerves, blood, even organs, whatever's needed. And crucially, they divide super rapidly without accumulating mutations, allowing for that almost instantaneous regeneration.
Wow. So it's not just about these special cells then. You mentioned genetic level regeneration earlier too. How do those two things work together? The cells and the underlying genetics. Is that the X gene thing?
Precisely. Yeah, the core secret is supposed to be his mutant X gene. That's what provides that genetic level regeneration. This gene enhances DNA repair mechanisms, actively preventing cancer, aging, and even foreign DNA from taking root.
Yeah.
It also triggers this hyperactive production of proteins that are constantly scanning and fixing genetic damage in real time. It's kind of like having an always-on biological autocorrect for his entire genetic code.
That's incredible. So even if he sustains like a fatal head wound, are his memories and personality just gone? Or does that X gene protect his cognitive functions too?
No, not at all. His brain also regenerates. It's part of the package. Even if his brain is severely injured, neurons grow back. His memories, skills, personality, they remain intact. And his cognitive functions fully recover.
That's just wild.
Yeah, it's a stark contrast to the human brain, which, can only regenerate neurons to a very limited extent. It's a key part of what makes him, well, Wolverine.
So he sounds virtually invulnerable, yet there's always been this glaring paradox built right into him, the adamantium. That metal bonded to his bones. In the real world, like you said, putting metal into your bones would be incredibly toxic.
Mm.
How does his healing factor handle that? Is it just constantly working overtime, a non-stop battle?
That's a critical point, yeah. And it gets to the heart of this constant struggle he lives with. In reality, yeah, metal poisoning, cellular degeneration, death from toxicity, that's what would happen. Wolverine's healing factor is in this relentless battle against it.
Oh.
It continuously detoxifies his body from the adamantium's effects, maintains his cellular integrity, supports the bone tissue interface where the metal is bonded. There's not much to suggest it ever fully adapts or neutralizes it. It's more like you said, a never-ending war his body wages. It really highlights the continuous immense demand on his healing abilities. Just staggering, really.
It sounds exhausting, like his body is doing an incredible amount of work just to keep him alive with that metal skeleton. And this constant battle must tie into his famously slowed aging too, doesn't it? I mean, he's been around for, what, over 180 years, but still looks like he's in his late 30s.
Indeed, yeah, it's directly linked. His healing factor drastically slows down aging, partly because his telomeres, the protective caps on the ends of chromosomes, they don't shorten over time like ours do.
Right, telomere.
And his DNA remains pristine, actively avoiding those age-related mutations. This pushes him towards a state of, well, biological immortality that no real human can currently achieve.
Makes you wonder, doesn't it, if we ever achieved even a fraction of that kind of regeneration, what would that mean for us, for aging itself?
It's a profound thought. And while Wolverine's abilities are, firmly in the realm of fiction, it's worth remembering that some creatures in nature do show extraordinary healing powers.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Think of the axolotl. It's an amazing salamander. It can regenerate limbs, its heart, even parts of its spinal cord. No scarring.
Seriously. Wow.
Yeah. Or planarian worms, tiny flatworms. They can regrow a whole body from just a tiny fragment. And other salamanders can regrow entire legs.
Okay, so nature has some tricks up its sleeve, too.
Definitely. And in our world, technologies like CRISPR gene editing offer maybe future potential for enhancing human regeneration. So while we're obviously nowhere near Wolverine levels, science is actively moving toward regenerative possibilities. Fiction often inspires reality,
That's a great point. Okay, so given everything we just discussed.
And this is attributed directly to that adamantium toxicity. It had been building up in his system for decades, relentlessly degrading his body's ability to heal and detoxify. So the very metal that made him seem invincible was now slowly poisoning him from the inside out.
So the poison finally caught up?
Essentially, yes. And we also see clear evidence of cellular fatigue and genetic burnout. Think about it.
Yeah.
After years of nonstop repair, decades upon decades, his stem cells were exhausted.
Right, they couldn't keep up anymore.
Exactly. DNA replication errors, cell fatigue, it was all setting in. His body was biologically shutting down, making him mortal again. It's a really powerful illustration of biological limits, even for a mutant like him.
And then there was the final fight.
Right. And then in the climax of Logan, he faces X-24, this younger, genetically cloned version of himself who has a fully functional healing factor. Peak Wolverine, basically.
A brutal mirror image.
Totally. And X-24 wounds Logan fatally, specifically with a large tree branch impaled through the chest, because Logan's healing factor was so weakened by then, so compromised, it just couldn't repair such a massive, deep injury. And he succumbed to the wound. He finally died, essentially a human death.
Wow. It really brings it all together.
Yeah, Logan's depiction of his death, it conveys a really critical idea. No power, no ability, not even regeneration lasts forever. Constant cellular stress, like those decades of adamantium exposure, it leads to cellular fatigue, burnout. Stem cells, too, they seem to have a life limit, even his super ones eventually.
So even his amazing biology had its limit.
Exactly. And just like any complex biological system, detoxification and repair mechanisms can weaken with age or under extreme prolonged stress. So even Wolverine, this living miracle, eventually faced entropy and death. It's a surprisingly profound statement on mortality woven into a superhero story.
It really is. What's fascinating here, as you said, is how Wolverine's healing power is this brilliant mix of, total science fiction and hints of real biology. The concepts, stem cells, DNA repair, immunity, regenerative medicine, they're all real things scientists are working on, just taken to an absolute extreme in the comics and films.
Precisely. And his death in Logan, it isn't just emotionally impactful for fans. It's, as you put it earlier, scientifically poetic.
Yeah.
It profoundly illustrates that even the strongest beings, fictional or otherwise, must one day face decay, entropy, and mortality. It's a universal constant.
A humbling reminder, even in fantasy.
Yeah. But, he leaves behind this legacy, a legacy that fuels scientists, doctors, researchers to imagine a future where regeneration is real, where aging might be optional, and where healing like Wolverine isn't just fiction, but maybe someday actual medicine.
Which leads to a great final thought for you, the listener.
Exactly. How does understanding the limits of even these incredible fictional superpowers help us appreciate the amazing ongoing breakthroughs happening right now in real-world biology and medicine? What really stands out to you from this whole deep dive into Wolverine's biology and eventual end?